In 1 Corinthians chapter 8, Paul addresses the question as to whether Christians can eat meat from animals that have been sacrificed to idols. This was an important question for the new faith, since most of the meat available in the marketplaces had come from this practice. Paul's idea is that there is nothing intrinsically wrong with eating this meat, since there is only one God and the idols are false. However, the Jesus of the book of Revelation has a different idea. In chapter 2, verse 14, he says this to the church at Pergamum, quote, "But I have a few things against you. You have some there who hold to the teaching of Balaam, who taught Balak to put a stumbling block before the people of Israel so that they would eat food sacrificed to idols." But this was something Paul had allowed in his churches. Jesus also says this in chapter 2, verse 20 to the church at Thyatira, quote, "But I have this against you. You tolerate that woman Jezebel," remember that, "who calls herself a prophet and is teaching and beguiling my servants to practice fornication and to eat food sacrificed to idols." Could the church at Thyatira have come under Paul's influence in this matter? The book of Acts provides a credible route by which this could have occurred. In Acts 16:14, while in Philippi, Paul met Lydia, quote, "from the city of Thyatira, and a dealer in purple cloth." God is said to have, quote, "opened her heart to listen eagerly to what was said by Paul," and in verse 15, she and her household are baptized. Perhaps Lydia's travels returned her to Thyatira at some later date. This would not have been unusual for a merchant in her industry, and once there, she may have professed Paul's teachings and founded a Christian community. She was a woman of means and would have had the capability of doing so. More speculative is the question as to whether Lydia might have been the Jezebel. It is also notable that in this chapter, in verse 3, Jesus has this to say to the church at Ephesus, quote, "I know that you cannot tolerate evildoers. You have tested those who claim to be apostles, but are not, and have found them to be false." Could this be a reference to Paul?